All right, let's take a peek inside this battery here. So the torque's on the side. It's just a standard T30. I don't know why it looked much larger outside. That's the same size that Honda uses on the back of the G1 Honda inside as well. So yeah, I figure what we'll do is we're going to see first of all if we can actually take these cells apart. I think it'd be really neat if we could do that. It seems like we're going to be able to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these open. We're going to have to break those bolts probably since they're going to be bolted together. Okay. What are you telling me here, little cell? So we know how easily those come off. And we know how easily... So one of the reasons I want to break this apart is that I'm going to test an individual cell in here. Because these batteries expired 2 years ago now, wow. It's possible that they're shit, but I doubt it. They're probably going to be just fine. They just kind of have exceeded Honda's estimated shelf life or whatever. Okay. So we'll get rid of all this superficial plastic. And it's kind of an odd injection molding technique there, but okay, that'll go away. I don't expect that this pack will ever go back together. You only need 3 of the 4 of them in the G1 Honda Insight. That'll give you the 200 and I think it's 201 volt, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But if you add the 4th 12S pack, the voltage will actually be too high and your DC-DC converter will stop working. If you replace the DC-DC converter, then technically you can go a bit higher, but you're eventually going to run the risk of breaking the IGBTs, the IGBTs on the motor drive, which are rated to 300 volts continuous use, I believe, maybe 600 volts max. And this 4th pack brings you up to about 260 volts or thereabouts. And that's cutting it too close for my engineering tolerance. So I haven't done any of this before. So yeah, again, we have this resistor in here. It'll be really interesting to see. I think the resistor value is just going to be different in each pack, and that way the machine knows which pack it's addressing. Sorry, my voice keeps coming in and out. I'm having to grab tools. This is just how unscripted videos work, I guess. Let's cut that off. And we'll need to undo all of those bolts. Yeah, that's going to be fun, I'm sure. Let me see if these are going to loosen by hand. I might have to go and get an impact driver. Yeah, those are pretty tight. I guess I can imagine they might be. So, yeah, I'm going to get an impact driver, and I might have one here. I've got a drill, that's close enough. Be quieter at least on video. So we'll put this into our low drive, drop our tool in, and let's just see what we can do. Okay. Alright, good enough. That's a pretty short bolt. Same size, that's always a good start. Now, some of those bolts are pretty tight. Sorry, I gotta come off the edge for these bottom ones. And what have we done there? I'm hoping I can just kind of lift this thing out of the cage that it's in. Here's another clue to me. I think that this is an insulated crash detection, but it might not be. We'll see. So, yeah, an impact would be a lot nicer. Okay, so I've got those 6 bolts out and no other bolts. Let's see, does it? Okay, I think this tab needs to come off, and then this end piece will slide up. That's my working theory. Although it might have been, it's possible that these are spot welded on the bottom. Maybe not. We'll see. we'll figure it out. I need sockets. Un momento for sockets. So I actually keep tools in 3 different areas, which sounds like it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't, but just what happened. Let's see if this is a standard 8mm. Boom. All right, Honda, you are too predictable. But however, the end ones are not 8mm. They are 7mm. They are 7. I'm not sure I've ever seen a 7mm bolt in a Honda. Shut that before I dunk it. So that's an odd design decision, in my opinion. Okay, and let's go ahead and get our extension and our, I can probably chuck that. Let's try it. I'm lazy at the end of the day. Yep, I can chuck that. Not how it's meant to be used, but it'll work. I'll break some bolt here. Okay, so that's interesting. That stud spins, but I haven't. Oh, I was just slipping in the chuck. Okay. I was thinking for some reason I had twisted the stud or something. I don't know. I'm gonna break these all by hand and then we'll unscrew the, yeah, we just slipped in the chuck there. Okay. So another reason to use an impact driver. You know, I'm surprised how not mechanically solid these stud tops are. There's definitely some flexure that gives me some pause here. Okay, let's see, there was no risk there. Okay, I thought maybe there was a risk. Yeah, these are, I would expect them to be installed a little bit more robustly. All right, let's go back into our drill and we'll pop these out. So you don't want bolts to fall on your lithium because it can short out. So I'm gonna do the top first here, and I'm gonna put it at a slight angle, which means you're not gonna be able to see it. But it's just kind of for my own protection so I don't burn my house down. And we're gonna go to high speed. Pop these on. Wow, I'm surprised the amount of labor in this pack to assemble it. Obviously these are sold at a loss. They're probably just sold for scrap. So hey, if nothing else, we got a bunch of nice bolts there. We'll pop this over the other way and take all the bolts off the other side. Let's see, am I tilted? Yep, okay. Gotta use gravity. Gravity is our friend. So, whoops. Now we got a bunch of tabs connecting these, presumably. And they should be loose. Grab our NI screwdriver. And verify. Yep. So we should be able to take this entire harness off at this point. That'll be a good starting ground. Now there's actually some kind of tabs that keeps them in place, possibly even on both sides. Let's see. What the heck is going on there? Okay. Yeah, there's a tab on both sides. That's gonna make removing these annoying. It's possible though that this is just set in place. So I'm gonna just set that back on there, and I think this whole piece, there we go, yep, I can lift off. Okay, so that's actually really nice, because that saves their assembly crew quite some time. How are we attached in the middle? Let's do a little bit of force. Ooh, I broke it. It's okay. Doing this so you don't have to. Okay. Something is holding on in this area there. Okay. Alright, well, there's that. Nice little plastic overlay. And here's all the little tabs I was thinking about. We obviously want to remove those and keep them. And so we removed one, and now we're going to remove all the rest of them. Some broken plastic too. How'd we do? Dangerous. Okay, that seems to be all of them. I'm making sure because I don't want to flip this over and have a piece fall out. Yeah, you can see here how I bent some of these tabs. So in my unscrewing process, you can see how these are mechanically bent. Now they are tab welded, so it seems like there's no major foul there. We're going to remove these tabs on the end. My working theory a minute ago was that once I remove these tabs, these metal end plates will come off. This looks just like the same Panasonic off-the-shelf pack. It doesn't seem like there's any Honda customization here. Here's that fusible link I was mentioning that seems a bit thin. It's for mechanical strain relief, it seems like, but it also might be an electrical fusible link. I don't know why these aren't coming off. Something I'm missing here? I've spun them a ton. Nope, no idea what's going on there. It's really odd. They just don't. Okay. I'm using the wrong socket size. That's 7mm, not an 8. That'll do it. Okay, yep. There's just an end cap. Okay. And so this probably doesn't even need to be removed because it might actually be just part of this end plate. But we'll see. Okay. There's that guy. Wow, that's a lot of bolts to have to take off. And it's pretty solid. I think that is somehow snapped to the batteries. My next working theory is that this piece will come off somehow, but that plastic tab is still in the way, and this wrap over here suggests that these cells don't lift out. It's on both sides. So might need to do some thinking. I mean, there was some movement there. Let me get a bigger screwdriver. Okay, got a bigger screwdriver, and let's see if I can pry up. Okay, so there's certainly some kind of connection there. I think this plastic needs to come off, and also that needs to move somehow. Ah, okay. The side piece pulls off. That's what it is. So this piece is somehow, there we go. Okay. That'll do it. There's a side piece. And here's a side piece. That one came off a lot easier. Just give it a little bit of effort there. Ooh, okay. And here's the bottom piece. And now the cells all come apart. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is really nice. So you can reconfigure this pack however you want. Now check this out. This is a really heavy metal piece. I'm kind of wonder why they've wanted. I know they're trying to put these cells in compression, but they have the plastic piece I mentioned earlier here. So, oh man, that is beautiful. Look at this cell. Look at that. So you could reconfigure these into any voltage you wanted, and then just run a bus bar along it. So this is going to be the most modular, cheap replacement off-the-shelf battery. And look, you know, unlike the Volt, you know, where it's liquid cooled, this has an air-cooled fin. So I showed this outside earlier. That's kind of backwards right now, but you can see the air fin through here. You can see right through this. Let me grab a flashlight. Try to shine it at an angle so I don't blind you as the viewer. So here's my flashlight. You can see, you gotta line that up perfect. There we go. You can see this honeycomb structure for air cooling. So yeah, this is real neat. So what we'll do next is we'll test one of these batteries, and we'll just load and, you know, charge it, decharge it. See if there's any identifying marks on it. It looks pretty unmarked. There's a QR code on the top. Sorry, that's out of view. But otherwise, there's no information. It has an expansion cell here if it gets too much pressure, which is weird because it's a, you know, prismatic cell. It is insulated. It has a plastic lining on here, which isn't necessary electrically because each cell has this plastic separator, but it's probably just a good like secondary just in case. But yeah, these are all identical. Yeah, so just an injection molded spacer. Well, hey, fuck, if nothing else, there's a easy way to get these guys. These would be, let's see, do a little bit of math here on our confuser. This is that many watt hours, and it's got 36 plus 24. So each cell is 19.6 watt hours. So we'll see if we can replicate that. Which if we divide it by 3.6, assuming it's a standard LiPo, is 5 amp hours, which is what it is. So yeah, this is a LiPo cell. That's what that tells us. So you are not going to want to charge and decharge this without a battery management system because it'll catch on fire if it gets too charged. You know, above like 4.15 is the maximum recommended, but typically like 4.6 or whatever, which is the energy storage difference between 4.15 and 4.6 is basically zero, like 1% state of charge. And so you have to be able to catch that before it happens. Otherwise, if you don't, then the battery will either vent or catch on fire or both. But hey, man, this is a great way to get lithium cells. You know, you could make this a little 12-volt battery with the battery management system with, you know, with just 4 of these would be a 4 of these would be a 5 amp hour 12-volt cell, 60 watt hours or whatever. So that's pretty cool. I've to date never seen a lithium battery this reconfigurable. You could literally reassemble this however you want with just different bus bars. So that's fun. We'll get this on our tester and we'll charge and discharge it at say like 30 amps and just see how long one of these cells lasts. Again, this pack is never going back together. You know, you could, if you wanted to, in addition, you could take all of these cells. It's 60 cells or whatever, and you could configure them all in one series or whatever. I don't know why you do that, but yeah, I've never actually seen for the price. This was $440 divided by 60 cells. This was a $7 20 watt hour battery. That's lithium rechargeable. So yeah, that's pretty insane. I'm surprised there's no manufacturing marks on this other than that QR code. I don't see anything besides, I mean, this is just the plastic, this is the injection mold data there. You know, this is the mold number, you know, B4, and this is mold A3 or whatever. Actually, no, that might actually be a different design. Let's see. Nope, they're the same. Let me take this cell out and see. Yeah. So, yeah, there's just different mold numbers. This is a mold A3, And that's mold B4, and it says it on both sides, just so they can match them correctly, and it's Rev C, I guess. So no info there, and this is an odd choice. This is probably 10 or 12 ounces. It's obvious, it's nominally to compress these cells, but again, with this plastic spacer being as deformable as it is, there's no actual compression that's occurring in here. So, hey, cool, we got a bunch of lithium cells with spacers and whatnot, and we can configure them to any voltage. That's really exciting. Cool. Well, let's get on a tester.